What's up, guys? This is going to be a little more of an intermediate to advanced video for real estate investors. However, if you are new, you will still gain some valuable insight by watching this as well. We're going to be talking about creating standard processes and procedures for your business. In this module, I'm going to go ahead and share my computer screen as we go over some of the standard operating procedures for our acquisitions department. This helps to maximize your sales capacity with the leads that you have and creates an easy process for anyone on your team to follow. Let's jump right in. So the goal of creating standard processes and operating procedures for your business is to make it as simple yet efficient as possible. And by creating a mind map, you can actually bring a physical equivalent to what that thought looks like, right? So especially for visual learners, it helps them to really see it with their eyes, right? But for our acquisitions process, the lead is received. The goal is to answer that phone immediately. If we miss the phone call, call back no later than 5 minutes, right? We want to be that first touch because these people are calling looking for answers, whether they're replying to a pay-per-click campaign, Google SEO, direct mail, whatever marketing form you're using, people are looking for answers, right? And if they're not getting that answer, they're going to go somewhere else. So after we get that initial touch, when the lead's received, step 2 is going to be building rapport. Relationships first. Our goal is to earn their trust. In order to do so, we need to be able to relate to them. We need to talk them through first, personal life, build the relationship before talking about the situation, before diving into motivation or price. Relationships always come first. That's the first key in negotiating, right? So after we've earned their trust, we've built that relationship, discussed family, occupation, life circumstance, then we can get into the position where we're vetting the lead, right? Now, upon vetting, we want to get to their motivation. Why? What's the reason for selling? What's the deep-rooted issue that they need to either sell their house fast or that they're looking to sell it at some point down the road? Once we're able to identify what that motivation is, we can move on and vet it and figure out how we can serve them, right? First rule of negotiation when you really get into the negotiation part is try to always get the seller to give out their asking price first, right? First rule in negotiation is the first party to give a price usually loses. So we're trying to vet them, pull out as much as we can, and then determine our angle at that point, right? So vetting the lead, if they're not giving you their asking price off the bat, then we want to give them kind of a price range. So as we are in the process of building rapport and vetting the lead, we're going to be on the computer looking at comps, right? So we're asking them, what are you hoping to get for the property? If they tell you the price, it seems like it might be a little bit high following the script, right? Is that as low as you can go? Is that the lowest price that you'd be able to take? Consider that we're not agents, so you're saving 6% on real estate commissions, and we're offering to pay all closing costs, which ends up being, 10% off the total price. And don't get it confused, a real estate agent listing your house as opposed to what the house will actually sell for, right? So we just want to clarify expectations. But after that, we're breezing on the computer if we're in front of a desk where we can actually vet the area and see what's been selling, what the comps are. And if they don't give us their price offhand, we want to give them, an area based on those comps. So we're saying, I see properties seem to be selling between 60 to 75,000 in this neighborhood. And you're structuring that basis somewhere within your maximum allowable offer, right? Depending on condition, does this sound like it's close to the number that you're aiming for? And if they say yes, then that's great. Let's set an appointment, really make that appointment go through, and let's try to get a contract written up. Some teams are closing over the phones. That's great. Personally, I believe that you're always building much better rapport when you meet in person, right? But instead of wasting our time, instead of wasting the acquisitions manager's time, we want to at least vet the lead to make sure that, one, there's motivation, and determine where we go from there. So figuring out what the lead is, we're going to call these buckets, right? Each of these are a lead bucket. So we want to determine their motivation off of the conversation, right? After we've built the relationship, we're diving deep into those pain points. Is it a hot lead? Is it a warm lead? Or is it a cold lead? And if it's cold lead, is it more fitting for a real estate agent referral, right? So every time we're going to try to push the cold leads to the agent. So determining this is going to be the art, right? Getting down to that motivation and figuring out exactly what they need and how to meet that expectation, right? If it's a hot lead, we want to set that appointment immediately. Go meet them in person where we can walk through the house, assess condition, build even better relationships and stronger rapport. Value first, sales second, right? We're called to serve these people. So how can we help? How can we be the solution? So that's it. If it's a hot lead, you're going to go on that appointment. Let's execute the contract. And the acquisitions manager's one directive upon going in that house is to walk out with a contract, right? Now, if a lead is determined warm, then we're going to have to keep on building rapport, keep on building trust, and really nourishing that lead along the way, right? We want them to trust us and see that we are here to help them. We're here to serve them and help solve their problems. Eventually, we should push this warm lead to being more of a hot lead where we can set the appointment, go out there, focus on the value, and try to walk out with the contract, right? And again, after you're going through the negotiation, if we're not the right fit, well, maybe we can refer a great real estate agent. If you have the time and resources to fix your property up and bring it to the market, wait for it to sell, then maybe your best bet is to list with an agent, because that, quite honestly, is going to be what's going to maximize your value. But if you're looking for the easy button, the easy solution, that's where we come into play. I will say, since my wife has got her real estate license, it has been super efficient to work as a team, and we can really identify, is this going to be a good investment strategy or a good referral? Now, the motto here is don't let any leads drift through the pipeline without figuring out exactly where they land, right? So anyways, we're going on here. If they want to maximize their value, say a property is worth 150, they want 150. They won't budge from 140. Well, quite honestly, it sounds like you need a real estate agent. So let's get that referral set up, right? So those are our motivation buckets. And for each area, we should have a standard operating procedure for each, so we know exactly how we tackle the lead in every stage of it, right? Now, after the call, you want to document everything. So what we've done here, and we'll zoom out a little bit, is we've created a little process as well, right? So document every call that you make. Every single day, if you're assigned to the acquisitions role, you should be documenting everything. So if you talk with somebody and it's a hot lead, let's go ahead and mark that in the hot lead section, right? If it's warm, let's go ahead and mark it warm. Agent leads, boom. And from there, standard operating procedure will have someone tackle those leads and maximize efficiency, right? Follow-up process is as follows. The first 5 days, we want to call just about every single day. Focus on building trust, building rapport, and seeing how we can serve these people, right? Second, goal is to set an appointment. Second week, call the seller every other day. Maybe after the first 2 or 3 calls, you can do it every 3 days. Third week, we're going to do more of a once a week follow-up because, again, people don't want to hear from us every single day, but we're just showing them that we're serious about it and we're here to help. Follow up until you reach a decision. Continue to try to warm and nourish the lead. Follow up with the seller until the decision has been made. They might say, take me off your list, stop calling me, or let's set an appointment and figure out how we can help you out, right? Until there's a decision made, we want to keep on following up with the leads that we have because these things are vital. For those of you that track your cost per lead, that ain't cheap. So anyways, we got hot leads, warm leads, agent leads. Anything under contract is going to be sitting here. That'll go to dispositions, and you can focus on getting that sold. Offers sent, and we need to follow up with these people, see where they're at in that status. That's going to sit here. This is who we need to send an offer to. And then, of course, tracking your follow-ups. So that's what that looks like. Now, moving down here, appointment process. This is after vetting the lead, talking with them in person, determining motivation, we set the appointment, right? Appointment process. You want to always do your pre-appointment intelligence, and we'll have a short module on that outside of this video. But basically here, you're going to be assessing the comps, determining your maximum allowable offer, and you're going to prepare the deal presentation. So we like to present, on an iPad or tablet, our deal presentation, which shows them who we are, what we do. We have testimonials from clients. We have video testimonials, and we can walk through that process. Some people really love it, and it helps to really nail in that rapport. Some people are not visual, and they just want to get straight to the point, right? So some people will tell you, I don't need to see this. I'm ready to make a decision. But it just really helps to build that rapport. So you're creating your deal presentation, right? Appointment set. If property's close enough, the lead's been vetted, set that in-person appointment. If the property's further than an hour, well, we need to definitely make sure it's a super motivated lead to respect our time, right? If not, we can make offers over the phone or reach out to investing partners in whatever area we're active. Arrive to the property. First thing is rapport, right? Family, occupation. After we build that relationship, let's talk about the situation of the property and how can we help, right? How can we be a service? I believe that we can help people in any situation. If we don't have the right answer, we can point you in the right direction to someone that has that, right? After you've built the rapport, we're going to walk the property, right? Never first, but after you've built rapport. What condition is the property in? Is it a high rehab, medium rehab, or low rehab? Now, I might catch a little bit of backlash with this, but in my opinion, every rehab team is different. Every contractor is different. They have access to different material costs, different labor prices. So when it comes down to it, your estimated repair costs are going to be all over the board. Someone's $20,000 rehab might be $30,000 for another team, right? Or say someone wants to flip the property as opposed to getting it rent ready. Your numbers are going to look differently, right? So what I have found is that instead of overcomplicating our process, because I'm not a contractor, I'm not a licensed inspector, right? So my goal is to determine to the best of my abilities, and we'll have a repair sheet. You can go over how old's the roof, if it needs a new roof, new AC, we know what that looks like, $5,000. So anyways, standard procedure with this, if it's a high rehab and it needs a ton of work, full gut, we're talking $24 a square foot, sometimes even a little more. A medium rehab, like you need to, definitely do the paint and carpet, maybe some upgrades, new kitchen, bathroom. We're talking more along the lines of $15 a square foot. Low rehab, we're talking just paint and carpet, right? Some light touch-ups, TLC work. That's going to come out around $10 a square foot. So you simply multiply the square footage times the size of the house. That gives you your number, right? Low, medium, high. So there's no reason to overcomplicate it because, again, your rehabbers, your end buyer is going to come in and assess condition anyways. So just do this to the best of your ability. That's the easiest simplified form that I can recommend, right? After you bought the property, you're building rapport. As you're doing this as well, you're still talking, really friendly, open, building the relationship. Then we move on to the deal presentation. We always encourage you to direct the offer conversation to the table, right? Try to get them to sit down at the kitchen table where you can see eye to eye and really be at that same mutual level, right? Simply ask the seller, is there somewhere we can sit down to discuss our options, right? That simple. Sit down at the table. You can break out the tablet, go over the deal presentation, run through the presentation, present our options, and then they can figure out where they want to go from there, right? So here's what we tell the team, right? We have 3 different options. People like options. Option 1, of course, is our cash offer, right? 70% of the after repair value of the property or lower, right? 70% is ideally where we want to provide that value to our cash buyers, but depending on what market, you're some cases getting a higher percentage or depending who your buyers are, right? But our cash offer is going to be the easiest and quickest sale. But again, with that convenience comes a discount in price. Option 2 is an installment offer, also known as owner financing. Installment just sounds a little bit better. If someone is really stuck on selling their property full price, well, I'll tell them that I'm willing to give you full price for that property on terms, right? If we can do that on installment payments, then I can give you $150,000 for your house. It just have to be broken down on installment payments over, 420 months or 360 months. Multiply it times however many years you want that. And if you could set that at a 0% interest rate, then you are paying straight towards the principal on that house, building massive equity. And of course, option 3, if they want to try to maximize value and they think that they have the time and resources to list the property, to fix it up, and deal with all that song and dance, we're going to refer it to a real estate agent. 3 options, right? We're here as a solution. And again, if we're not the right answer, then we're going to do everything we can to serve you and point you in the direction of someone that has that. So again, we're just stressing again, we want our team to always come from a place of service, right? Always coming from a place of value to identify how we can best help these people, right? If we don't have the answer, point them in the direction of someone who does. Value first, sales second. Every single lead must be vetted to identify where it's placed, right? That brings us back to the motivation bucket. But again, focus on serving. If you're focused on just becoming rich, making a bunch of money, you're going to fail. Straight up. I'm going to tell you like that. But if you're focused on helping people out and truly making a difference, coming from a place of service, you're going to be successful in whatever you do, right? So just remember that. So that's just an overview of what the acquisitions process looks like. You can share these mind maps with your team. We do a lot of collaborations through Google Drive, through Slack, different team networking apps. And even if you want to, you can drop their calling script. We have one here on the side that we took out. But you can drop your calling script here. John Martinez has some really, really strong buying over the phone scripts, but it just helps to place everything in one area, and your team can go over that and really maximize their sales capacity. So I hope this helps, guys. Get out there, stay consistent, and crush your goals.